I wanted to read some Gnosis stuff about the infancy of Christ, since I've been looking at him as a baby in the Quran. Uh, he just brings plague birds, live Quran birds. Let me see this shit. He don't do. It's not really like about him as a child, really, in the Bible, but like apparently they got it all here. On judgment day, all of us, so Jesus, Son of Mary, remember my favor upon you and your mother. I supported you with the Holy Spirit, so you spoke to the people in your infancy and adulthood. It's how I taught you writing, wisdom, the Torah, and the gospel. You know, the bird from clay by my will, and breathed into it became a real bird by my will. How you healed the blind and the lepers by my will. How you brought the dead to life by my will. How I prevented the children of Israel from harming when you came to them with their proofs and disbelievers among them said, this is nothing but pure magic. Alright, let's read. So he did bring a bird to life. Play bird. Alright, so I'm gonna read. Oh shit. It's just dark. What's fuck? How do I make it lighter? Okay, we're just gonna. Shit is blinding on. Alright. All testimonies about this book have been given already, and now present the three principal forms of it, given by the Tischendorf, two Greek text, and one Latin. These are old ass manuscripts that were like split up and like found out about later, like some Dead Sea Scroll shit. I just think the beginning of life is like very important if we can get any details on that. Few Greek manuscripts are all the earliest authorities are much abbreviated Syriac version, of which the manuscript is the 6th century, okay. Are all late 5th or 6th century, which has never been deciphered in full. The Latin version is found in more manuscripts that I think is earlier than the 13th century. Let's read them. Stories of Thomas the Israelite, the philosopher concerning the works of childhood of the Lord. Bam. Who's Thomas is one of the disciples. Thomas the Israelite tell unto you, even all the brethren that are of the Gentiles, make known unto you the works of the childhood of our Lord Jesus and his mighty deeds, and all that he did when he was born in our land, where at the beginning of his death. This little child Jesus, when he was 5 years old, was playing at the ford of the road. Fuck that. Shallow section of brook, stream, or river that is crossable while wading or driving directly through the water with a bridge. Ford of a brook. Of a brook. So he's like trying to like, you know how like water fish and shit, and they sling their fish and shit. They're fishing. Is it like water brook fishing? Yeah, not some like this. Some shit. That's cool, but let's keep going. And he gathered together the waters that flowed there into pools. He gathered together the waters that flowed there into pools, and made them straightway clean, and commanded them by his word alone. Let me just get ChatGPT. Word alone, and flowed there into pools. The waters that flowed there into pools, like how? He like put rocks like in front of it to stop the flow and made them straightway clean. Explain it. He gathered means he collected the flood into basins rather than pools instead of letting it run freely. Okay, and made them straight clean means he immediately purified or cleansed the water. In older English, it means that once immediately straightway means that once immediately or without delay, straightway clean. Just clean them. Okay. He collected into pools and immediately purified it. The fuck? He's clean water while it's not flowing. Making it still. Because when water's still, it gets dirty. But like, if you're doing it right then, I don't know. When it's still for a long time, it can like catch bacteria and shit. And having made soft clay, he fashioned thereof 12 sparrows, and it was the Sabbath when he did these things. The clay. And there were also many other little children playing with him. The sparrows are the disciples. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. And there were also many other little children playing with him. So he built little sparrows. That's cool. And a certain Jew, when he saw what Jesus did, playing upon the Sabbath day, departed straightway, right away, and told Joseph, "Oh, thy child is at the brook, and he hath taken clay and fashioned 12 little birds, and hath polluted the Sabbath day." Oh, he did work. You're not supposed to work on the Sabbath. And Joseph came to the place and saw and cried out to him, saying, "Wherefore doest thou these things on the Sabbath, which is not lawful to do?" This is sounding like, if my eyes are correct, this shit might be real. It's not lawful to do. But Jesus clapped his hands together and cried to the sparrows and said to them, "Go," which is not lawful. And the sparrows took their flight and went away chirping. Who said that? Joseph to him? Like, why are you doing? Joseph's like confused because he's like not the father. Like, you're gonna get yourself killed, Jesus. I'm not your father. He's like, my father's in heaven. I'm putting these birds and I'm letting them go. Okay. And then he later made disciples. Crazy. What do you think these birds want? You think they're landing on the fucking disciples somewhere? Took the flight and went away chirping. Five. And when the Jews saw it, they were amazed and reported and told their chief man which they had seen Jesus do. I mean, it's a cool story. I really like it. It sounds pretty straightforward. Might be real. I mean, nothing on Jesus, and this is like a really cool story so far. And we'll look more into like the beginning, but all I heard was that he like preached to like old man like when he was a teenager, but this is like when he was a kid. Why does Thomas get to write this? Why does Thomas? Why is Thomas important to Jesus' infancy? Is a second century apocryphal text important because it attempts to satisfy early Christians about his childhood. But it's second fucking century, bro. They're just like, I don't know. Let's get from Jesus as a taught to return. What? From Jesus to return from Egypt straight to his appearance in temple at age 12. He wasn't temple preaching at age 12. So This text attempts to fill the gap with the stories of Jesus between the ages of 5 and 12. Damn. Okay. Why would Thomas have these writings? Why would Thomas be important in the gospel? Not what asked ChatGPT. Was it strategic by the not to lend apostolic authority and credibility to the text? By Thomas the Apostle. Early writers sought to validate stories about Jesus' childhood. Of Thomas was likely attached to the text long after it was written. Most stern to boast to the book's reputation. It sounds really good. I like it. Who's Thomas? Who is Thomas the Apostle? Was one of the 12 apostles, best known for his initial skepticism regarding the resurrection of Jesus, and his nickname Doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. Thomas was like, dude, oh, he's a dude just like, is he the wine dude? Is Thomas the apostle a whiner? His fat, which translates to the twin. The twin. That's weird. Gideon's the twin. He might be like Jesus' like best friend. Who is Jesus' best friend? The fucking twin? Like what? And associate him with serving at events like the wedding, yeah, at the chosen. He's like the barrels were out of wine, bro. He's known for doubting. But why is he doubting? Verses of Thomas doubting. I just want to see this is his character because Jesus likes people who doubt because they're like, you really don't believe that because who says? Oh, okay, let's see. This is King James shit was not with them when Jesus came. Context. What is this? 24. It sins every man, and whoever sins pain, they retain. And then he said that he breathed on them, and he said, receive ye the Holy Ghost. Mary came and told the disciples that he had seen the Lord and what he had spoken these things. Oh, this is other, which is his answer. Touch me, I'm not, but and and he said two angels in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet, with the body of Jesus had lain. Oh, this is after his death. Is this? Oh shit! He's the one who put my finger into the print. Wait, did Thomas that? Holy fuck! He's the one who put his fingers to his hands. But Thomas, one of the 12 Nicodemus, was not with them. He came. The other disciples therefore said, "We have seen what he had said unto them." Why is this important? But Thomas, one of the 12 called, was not with them when Jesus came. He's a doubter. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the prints of the nails, and put my finger in the print of the nails, and thrust my hand, I will not believe. He's saying, if I cannot do that with him alive, I will not believe. I will believe if I can put my fucking finger through his hand. And after again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Thomas came. Alright, cool. What's this Thomas? which means, as we learn, this means this. This writing might be legit, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Coming from how important this is seeming to be. This is right after his death. That's crazy. Doubting Thomas didn't miss meaning, bro. So we can move forward. Twin or twofold. Crazy. Alright. So the door, okay, after the disciples were within and Thomas with them, then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and just dead at this point, right? There's only 11, right? He turned them in. There's 11 left. How many disciples were alive when Jesus showed his hands? 11, I'm crazy. 11 has died prior to this. Okay, got it. Being shut in the midst. Okay, hold up. And Thomas with them. And again, his disciples were with, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus being shut and stood in the midst and said, "Peace be unto you." Then said he to Thomas, "Reach hither." Well, Thomas not here before, but the other disciples are telling him, like, I gotta do this. They're like, what? Thomas has to do it because he's daughter. It's like, we gotta see Thomas do this shit. And said to Thomas, "Reach hither thy finger and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand and thrust into my side, and be not faithless, but believe. Behold my hands and reach hither thy hand and thrust into my side." Oh shit, he put it in his heart. Him, my Lord and my God. He put his fucking hand in his fucking side. In his heart? I thought it was just his hands. Holy fuck. Then they just dug into a dead, like a God's rib cage. What does this mean? What does this mean? Mean in full. But bring to my side where a Roman soldier had pierced him with a spear during the crucifixion. Holy fuck. Alright, so he put his hand. Thomas had to do this because he's like, there's no fucking way this guy's God, and he came alive, and I just fucking hand in his rib cage. That I would trip that too. Jesus said unto him, "Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed." That's you, Gentiles, Jews, Muslims, Christianity, whatever the fuck. Find your way. And many other signs truly Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. Truly Jesus in the presence of his disciples. What do you think they did? You think he had fireworks on my fucking hands? Look, in 2,000 years, we're gonna have like fireworks. And then they just all get murdered. But these are written that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ and that we have life through his name. Damn, Thomas. Thomas, like, he got me, bro. Alright, let's read this, though. This is real. Alright, I believe this is kind of real, though. Where we at? Right. But the son of Annas described was standing there with Joseph, and he turned willow. And that's like the willow tree. Willow tree. These trees are cool as. Yeah. He took a branch of that and dispersed the waters which Jesus. Who did that? The scribe was standing there with, and dispersed the waters which Jesus had gathered together. This guy knows what he's talking about because he wouldn't just be talking about Thomas or calling Thomas this the gospel of him. Like, Thomas seems to be kind of important, and this guy seems to understand that and why he would write this with any knowledge or wisdom of that. Shows that probably is second century shit. I don't know. I don't know if it's canonical, but it sounds really beautiful. And dispersed the waters which Jesus had gathered together. And when Jesus saw what was done, he was wroth and said unto him, will is a sign of death. And when Jesus saw what was done, he was wroth. Will trees, like they're like death, don't they? Like spooky, emotional healing and renewal. Nah, they look like the fucking trees in the swamp or some shit, right? Immortality, renewal, mental strength. What do they mean? Symbolize biblically. Let's see if you know what you're talking about. Lamentation, but also represent sorrow, lamentation. Yeah, it's like weeping. It's like a weeping tree. You can look at it. You just get a vibe from it. Don't you? It's like a sad ass tree, bro. It's like a droopy ass. It's really cool though. Look at like yeah, like on the side of like a creek or some shit. Like that's kind of that being. I would take a willow. Let's keep going. Jesus didn't do that. It's Annas the scribe because he was still on Sabbath. Oh, evil, godly, foolish one! What hurt did the pools in the water do thee? Behold, now also thou shalt be withered like a tree, and shalt not bear leaves, neither root nor fruit. And straightway that lad withered up wholly. But Jesus departed and went unto Joseph's house. His supposed, his like adopted father. But the but the parents of him that was withered took him up, be well in his youth, and brought him to Joseph. Withered up wholly. Departed and went unto Joseph's house. His father, supposedly. But the parents of him that was withered took him up, bewailing his youth, and brought him to Joseph and accused him for that. This is so real. For that accused. For them that may be, because this is there's no act of him between 5 and 12. He was accused like 1,000 times. For that thou hast such a child which doeth such deeds. He literally killed this dude for like fucking his water. Like putting sorrow in his water, poisoning the well, whatever. Again, after that, again, he went through the village, and a child ran and dashed against his shoulder. And Jesus was provoked and said unto him, thou shalt not finish thy course, let go all thy way. And ooh, and Jesus was provoked. This is during the time of Israel, bro. This is like Roman occupation type shit. And Jesus was provoked and said unto him, thou shalt not finish thy course, let go all thy way. And immediately he fell down and died. But certainly they saw what was done, and said, whence was this young child born? For that every word of his is an accomplished work. And the parents of him that was dead came on, this is heavy. He wasn't just saying this shit. It's fucking crazy. And the parents of him that was dead came on to Joseph and blamed him, saying, thou that hast such a child canst not dwell with us in the village. Or do thou teach him to bless and not to curse, for he slayeth our children. And Joseph called the young Damn, they had to run to Bethlehem. He got born, and then he started killing niggas. Holy shit! They bumped, you bumped into the wrong kid, bro. God damn. And Joseph called the young child apart and admonished him, saying, "Wherefore doest thou such things?" Apart and admonished him. Admonished. Now look at this word. Reprimand and caution. Admonish. Where that? Admonish, saying, "Wherefore doest thou such things, that these suffer and hate us and persecute us?" But Jesus said, "I know that these thy words are not thine. Nevertheless, for thy sake, I will hold my peace." What? But they shall bear their punishment. And straightway they that accuse him were smitten with blindness. And they that saw it were sore afraid and perplexed, and said concerning him that every word which he spake, whether it were good or bad, was a deed and became a marvel. And when he saw that Jesus had so done, Joseph arose and took hold upon his ear and wrung it sore. Oh, so that Jesus had so done, Joseph and took hold upon his ear and wrung it sore. And the young child was wroth and saith unto him, "It suffice thee or them to seek and not to find. And verily thou hast done unwisely. Knowest thou not that I am thine? Vex me not. Knowest thou not that I am thine? Knowest thou not that I am thine? Vex me not." He's like, "Bro, I'm not playing, bro. Like, I'm an immortal being and a 5-year-old. Like, you're about to see the child of God." I'm like, shit. Now a certain teacher, Zacchaeus by name, stood there, and he heard in part when Jesus said these things to his father, and he marveled greatly that being a young child, he takes such matters, like with authority and fucking shit. That'd be fucking scary. Imagine like some 7-year-old just fucking pull up and be like, "Hey, bro, get the fuck out the sandbox." I'm like, "Goddamn, okay, shit." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Bye." And everything that he's been doing literally happens. He can say die and you die. Like, get the fuck out of the sandbox. I'd be so fucking afraid. So, and after a few days, okay, exactly, says, after a few days, he came unto Joseph, "Thou hast a wise child, and he hath understanding. Come deliver him to me, that he may learn letters." What? Oh my god, letters? He knows the word. Why would he need the letters? "And I will teach him with the letters all knowledge, and that he salute all elders, and honor them as grandfathers and fathers, and love them of his own years." And he told him all the letters from Alpha even to Omega, clearly with much question. From Alpha even to Omega, clearly with much questioning. But Beta, well, but Jesus looked upon Zacchaeus the teacher and said unto him, "Thou that knowest not the Alpha according to its nature." God was rough in the beginning. Alpha means beginning. How canst thou teach others the Beta? Difference between omega and beta biblically. Omega is a divine title for God. Beta is not a name or title used for anyone in the Bible, but rather the second letter of the Greek alphabet. A lot of Greek in the Bible. That's Gentile territory. When you start getting into Greek, that's like Roman shit. Like that's more like that way. That way on from Israel if you're on the map. So like beta is like the second letter. Last letter of the Greek alphabet. Omega. Holy fuck. He's saying like if I can't even teach you wait, did Jesus spawn with that shit? Dude, this shit's real. This guy shouldn't know, like, shouldn't even be acknowledging any of this existence without any factual evidence and what the fuck he's saying. Thou knowest not the alpha according to its nature. How canst thou teach others the beta? That's the second letter. He's saying, I can't teach y'all omega, nigga. I'm omega. How the fuck are you gonna learn beta if you can't even understand alpha? No, it's not the alpha. According, how canst thou teach others the beta? Thou hypocrite, first if thou knowest it, teach the alpha, and then we'll believe thee concerning the beta. He's saying, take it one step at a time, go to omega. Then began he to confound the mouth of the teacher concerning the first letter, and he would not prevail to answer him. To confound the mouth concerning the first letter, and he could not prevail to answer him. What the fuck confound me, dude? It is called to cause surprise or confusion in some, usually by acting against their expectation. Holy shit. Who is Zacchaeus? Where are we at? We're down here. Who is that? See, there's evidence of that. He's not killing him for some reason. Includes in climbing a sycamore tree to see Jesus, and also his generosity in giving away half of all he possessed. Bible is a wealthy short chief tax collector from Jericho who, according to the climbed a sycamore tree to see Jesus. Jesus called him down, visited his home, inspired him to repent, giving him half his wealth to the poor, and make restitution. And muttered complaints that Jesus would be the guest of a well-known sinner. Sonnet was gonna okay. Hold on, Jericho. And was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector. Was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. He was rich, so he's like a little Napoleon. So he ran ahead and since Jesus went that way. Reached a spot. He looked up and said to him, "Come down. I must stay at your house today." Zacchaeus, come down immediately. So came out once, walked him gladly. All the people saw to begin like he has gone to the guest of a sinner. He has gone to be the guest of a sinner. This is fucking KJ. No, it's not. It's crazy, bro. Break it, break. A little short. Make haste and come up for today. I must abide at thy house. About sleep, and he made haste and received him joyfully. And they would be best with that as a sinner. Instead of, behold, Lord, half of my good I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by fault, I restore fourfold. The day his salvation comes to this house, for so much of his also is a son of Abraham. This day his salvation comes to this house, for so much as he is also a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is coming to seek and to save that which was lost. He was up in Jerusalem, shall secure him. And he added because he was nigh Jerusalem. And as they heard these things, he added in his parable because he was nigh, he was new, or because they thought the kingdom of God should immediately appear. What time is this? Jericho? She passed through Jericho. I didn't even know you did that. It's in Luke. But it's coming to seek and save that which was lost. And before they thought that the kingdom, he's certain went so far to receive for himself a kingdom and to turn. Certain went so far to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and laid them 10 pounds and said unto him, occupy like him. And delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy like him. And delivered them 10 pounds and said, the citizens hated him. He's saying these are like right shit, and then the woman's trying to tell you, and he's using his 10 serpents, and deliver them to 10. What's this saying though? What is this? Explain. Sure receive 1 minute. He said, hey, here's money, pay off the servants, occupy the area till I come. But his till I come and to return. Alright, they're supposed to occupy their city that they're already in. But his citizens say to him and send the message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. Where is he keeping his servants to occupy the new kingdom? Okay, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded the servants are still back, servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. And verse saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. Without good servant, because thou have been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second had gained 5 pounds. How did they get? How did it? Here's thy pound which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I fear thou art up that thou layest not down, and readest that thou didst not sow. And he said, out of thy mouth will I judge thee, thou servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, picking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest thou money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. Act of lending money at an interest rate that is considered unreasonably high or illegally excessive is condemned both morally at the exploitation of vulnerable borrowers and legally as predatory lending. Damn. And reaping that I did so. Wherefore then and gavest not thou money into the bank, that at my coming I required mine own with usury. Usury? That at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. This nigga is like, I'm going to fuck up everybody who is doing this. Like, I'm going to pull this on y'all, is what he's saying. This will happen when the kingdom comes, is what he's saying. Am I coming? I might have required my own kingdom with usury. He's talking about kingdoms here. And he's on to that by take from him the pound and give it to him that had 10 pounds. He had 10 pounds. Why is this dude bad? Give it to him that had 10 pounds. That he thought should be taken away from him. Damn. Everyone which shall be given from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away. But those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and stand before me. Which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay before me. And when he had thus spoken, he went before ascending up to Jerusalem. And it came to pass when he was come nigh to Bethphage and Bethany at the mount called the mount, he sent two of his disciples, saying, Go, and that which ye shall find a colt tied whereon yet never man sat, loose him, bring him here. This is the prophecy. He shall loose because hath need of him. Sent away and found even as he, and as if they were loose, and the owners said, Why loose ye the colt? They said, The Lord hath need of him. They brought him to Jesus, and they cast her on the colt and said, Jesus, thereon. And that's his prayer. Okay, so he's basically saying, King, you bought to get surried, whatever this word is. He immediately goes into prophecy of riding a donkey. But where's the horse at? Where's that verse? Den of thieves. Usury. Goddamn. Goddamn. Alright, so where's the horse? Is he supposed to ride a donkey and a horse or something? A colt and a donkey. But Matthew just brought both a donkey and its colt to Jesus. What's a donkey and a colt? A colt is a young male donkey. Is a domestic whose mammal related to the horse. A colt is a young male donkey, typically under 4 years of age. Young male. And then you should find a colt running. Alright. What donkey and colt Matthew. And then we'll move on. I think that's about our breakthrough. I don't know where we're brought the donkey in the place and then for Jesus to sit on. He sat on both the donkey and the colt. It's like some Old Testament like prophecy shit that happened, but like right? Yeah, that's where we're on. Alright, so let's continue here. Now, when this Zacchaeus is literally the dude fucking up, right? Like, he's like a rich man and trying to, I don't know, Jesus in parables to people. People were calling the sinner on the what? And was Zacchaeus the teacher? Where were we at? I cannot make clear. Okay, we're trying to make. Where the three oh shit up here. Thou hypocrite, first thou teach, then began he, and he kept answering him. He kept And here in a minute, the young child said to Zacchaeus, "Hear, O teacher, the ordinance of the first letter, and pay heed to this. How that it hath, what follows is really unintelligible in this, and in all the literal version would run something like this. Oh, is this like, oh, how it hath lines in the middle mark, we shall cease common to both, going apart, coming together, raised up on high, dancing a corrupt word of three signs, like in kind, corrupt word, balance, and equal measure, thou hast the rules of the alpha." What the fuck? How that it hath, what follows is really unintelligible in this, and in all the parallel texts, a literal version would run something like this. Semicolon. How that it hath lines and a middle mark, which seest coming to both, going apart, coming together, raising up high, dancing, corrupt word, of three signs, liking hind, balance, equal in measure, thou hast the rules of the alpha. Now, as Zacchaeus the teacher heard such and so many allegories of the first letter spoken by the young child, he was perplexed at his instruction being so great, and said to them that were there, "Woe is me, wretch that I am! I am confounded. I have brought shame to myself. Like, this is real. I'm guaranteed this is canonical. I don't know why it's not like even this is scary." But brought shame to myself by drawing to me this young child. Take him away, therefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph. I cannot. Alright, hold up. What was it? I shame by drawing to me this young child. Take him away, therefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph. I cannot endure the severity of his love. I cannot once make clear my or his word. Damn. This young child is not earthly born. This is one that contains even fire. Be like this is one begotten before the making of the world. What belly bare this? What womb nurtured it? I know not. Woe is me, O my friend, he putteth me for my sins. I cannot follow his understanding. I have deceived myself. Thrice wretched man I am. I strove to get me a disciple, and I am found to have a master. I think, oh my friends, upon my shame, for that being old, I have been overcome by a young child. And I'm even ready to faint and to die because of the boy. I am not able at this present hour to look him in the face. And when all men say that I have been overcome by a little child, what have I to say? And what can I tell concerning the lines of the first letter whereof he spake to me? And what can I tell concerning the lines of the first letter? What does it look like? What does it look like? It's just like Alpha Greek, get weird with it. It's just an A. Oh, it goes up and there's a middle line. You know what I'm saying? At the top, pyramid. You know what I'm saying? Where are we at, bro? This is getting. Yeah, down. Where are we at, bro? This shit right here is retarded. This thing's like, I can't even intelligently pronounce what the fuck is that. I'm and spake to I'm ignorant of my friends, for neither beginning nor end of it or him do I know. Wherefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph, take him away on thine house. For he is somewhat great, whether God or angel or what I should call him, I know not. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. It's killing everything and it's just spitting terrible out. And as the Jews were counseling Zacchaeus, the young child laughed greatly and said, now let those bear fruit that were barren, that are done, and let them see blind and hard. I am come. He gave sight back up. I am come from above that I may curse them and call them to the things that are above, even as he commanded them which hath sent me for your sakes. And when the young child ceased speaking, immediately all they were made whole which had come under his curse. He healed them. And no man after that durst provoke him, lest he should curse him and he should be maimed. Man. So this often permanent physical injury on a person or animal. Holy fuck. Mine. Now after certain days, Jesus was playing the story of a certain house. And one of the young children that played with him fell down from the house and died. And the other children, when they saw it, fled, and Jesus remained alone. And the parent of him that was dead came and accused him that he had cast him down. And Jesus said, I did not cast him down, but they reviled him still. Jesus leaped down from the roof and stood by the body of the child and cried with a loud voice and said, Vino, for so is him called. Get the Zeus. Oh my god. God damn. Belong to Zeus. Xena. Shit. Get the Zeus. Oh shit. Great. There's Greek in the Bible, bro. Greek in the Bible, bro. Okay, let's keep going. God damn, is it real still? Fuck. Me. Zeno. For so is his name called. Arise and tell me, did I cast thee down? And straightway he rose and said, Nay, Lord, thou didst not cast me down, but this raised me up. And when they saw it, they were amazed. And the parents of the child glorified God for the son which had come to pass and worship Jesus. And after a few days, a certain young man was cleaving wood in the neighborhood. And the axe fell and cut in sunder the sole of his foot. And losing much blood, he was at the point to die. And when there were a tumult and concourse, Jesus also ran thither, and by force passed through the multitude, and took hold upon the foot of the young man. Was smitten straightway, he was healed. I rise now and cleave the wood and remember me. But when the multitude saw that what was done, they worshipped thee, saying, Verily the Spirit dwelleth in this young child. Now when he was 6 years old, 25, his mother sent him to draw water and bear it into the pit. Oh, that's not much. I can go to sleep tonight. Okay. His mother sent him to draw water and bear it into the house and gave him a pitcher. Okay. But in the press he struck it against another, and the pitcher was broken. But Jesus spread out the garment which was upon him and filled it with water and brought it to his mother. And when his mother saw what was done, she kissed him, and she kept there within herself the mystery she saw him do. What garment? This white garment. You can't. Water doesn't go through the garment. Oh, weird. It's cloth that you can't like. That's weird. Again, in the time of sowing, the young child went forth with his father to sow wheat in their land. Forth with his father to sow wheat in their land. Ooh. Wheat is like some threshing for shit. This is really important. threshing floor. There we go. This is really important, I guess. And his father sowed, the young child Jesus sowed also one corn of wheat. Okay. And he reaped it and threshed it, and therefore 100 measures. And he called all the poor of the village onto the threshing floor and gave them the wheat at 6 years old. Basically, the sermon. And Joseph before heaven took the residue of the wheat, and he was 8 years old when he bought this sign. He was 8 at this time. Now his father was a carpenter, and Joseph, and made at that time plow yokes. The fucking plow that you put on plows and yokes. Yokes are those things we put on oxes, but they make a like I guess slaves on like the people who are under God, like some of the prophets wore this shit in in reverence to God, Jesus. So yeah, where are we going with this? Where we at? And now his father was, was required of him a bit by a certain rich man, that he should make it for him. And whereas one being, that which is called the shitting one, was too short, and Joseph knew not what to do, the young child Jesus said to his father Joseph, lay down the 2 pieces of wood and make them even at the end, next onto at the middle. And Joseph did as he and Jesus and took a hold upon the shoulder beam and stretched it and made it equal with the other. Saw and marvel and embraced the young child and kissed him, saying, happy over it, give me this thing. What did he do? He stretched wood. I don't know what, but when Joseph, let's look back at that. Was that important? Everything's important, but one of the prophets did this shit during Nebuchadnezzar's time. They wore yoke and went back to the kingdom. Shit. Nebuchadnezzar or someone else. But when Joseph saw the understanding of the child and his age, that it was coming to the full, he thought with himself again that he should not be ignorant of letters. Joseph, or Jesus, oh God. And he took him and delivered him to another teacher. And the teacher said unto Joseph, first will I teach Greek letters, after that the Hebrew. For I don't know, for the teacher knew the skill of the child and was afraid of him. Notwithstanding, he wrote the alphabet, and Jesus pondered thereon a long time and answered him not. And Jesus said to him, if thou be indeed a teacher, and if thou knowest letters well, tell me the power of the alpha, and then I will tell the power of the beta. And the teacher was provoked and smote him on the head. And the young child was hurt and cursed him, and straightway he fainted and fell to the ground on his face. And the child returned unto the house of Joseph. And Joseph was grieved, commanded his mother, saying, let him not forth without the door, for all they die that provoke him to wrath. But when Joseph saw the understanding of the child and his age, that it was coming to the full, he thought, oh shit. Bro, shit, I was thinking that. And after some time, yet another teacher, which was a faithful friend of Joseph, said to him, bring the young child unto me to the school, peradventure I may be able by conquering him to teach in the letters. Conquer or to pamper and spoil. See how that works out. And Joseph said, if thou hast no fear, my brother, take him with thee. And he took him with him in fear and much trouble of spirit. But the young child followed him gladly, and going with boldness and into the school, he found a book lying on the pulpit and took it and read not the letters that were therein, but opened his mouth and spake by the Holy Spirit, and taught the law to them that stood by. And a great multitude came together and stood there hearkening and marveled at the beauty of his teaching and the readiness of his words, and that being an infant he uttered such fucking things. But when Joseph heard it, he was afraid and ran onto the school, thinking whether this teacher also were without skill, smitten with infirmity. Like, he's like mental weakness against this young child. Fucking crazy. But teacher said unto Joseph, "No, my brother, that I received this child for a disciple, but he is full of grace and wisdom, and now I beseech thee, brother, take him unto thine house." And the young child heard that. He smiled upon him and said, "For as much as thou hast said well and borne right witness, for thy sake shall he also that was smitten be healed." And forthwith the other teacher was healed. And Joseph took the young child and departed unto his house. And Joseph sent, I want to read this one now. I got Mary in it. I see Mary. And Joseph sent his son James to bind fuel and carry it into his serpent burst, into his house. Bind fuel. And the young child also, and as James was gathering of faggots, a viper bit the hand of James. Faggots, a viper bit the hand of James. Who's James? Joseph said to his son James, Joseph had a son James, brother of Jesus, James. Yeah, never. Famously identified as brother or close relative of Jesus. Who was James' mother in the Bible? And James is Salome Mary. She was another James, maybe. I'm not sure. She was James, the son of Zebedee and brother of John. Follower who mentioned was present at his crucifixion. Scary. Alright. And the young child Jesus, it might have been Mary, I don't know. And as James would get a viper bit his fucking hand. Jesus is faggots or cigarettes, right? Faggots in Bible. Cigarettes, right? What is this trying to say? And then the faggot. Faggot. It with I mean, bundle of sticks. Why was he doing that? He used to build a feet of fire. And wood. Collecting wood. We basically filling a fire. It says it over here. Buying fuel, that meant gathering of faggots, sticks, a viper, and as he was so afflicted and ready to perish, Jesus came near and breathed upon the body, and straightway the pain in the serpent burst, continued to hold. And after these things, in the neighborhood of Joseph, a little child fell sick and died. And his mother wept sore, and Jesus heard that there was great mourning and trouble, and he ran quickly and found the child dead. And he touched his breast and said unto the child, die not, but live with thy mother. And straightway it looked up and laughed. And he said to the woman, take him up and give him milk, and remember me. And the multitude that stood by saw it and marveled. Of truth, this young child is either a god of or angel of God. For every word of his is the perfect word. And Jesus departed thence and was playing with their children. And after some time there was work of building, and there was a great tumult, and Jesus arose and went thither. Tumult. There's a work of building, and there was a great tumult. That's not a good word. Yeah. And he saw a man lying dead, and told of his hand, man, arise and do thy work. And he rose and worshipped him, and was astonished. Saved many souls from death, and hath power to save them all his life long. Alright. Last thing, we're going to bed. And when he was 12 years old, his parents went according to the custom to Jerusalem. 12. And then you start getting into shit, the real shit. What's known as canonical. To the feast of the Passover with their company. And after the Passover, they returned to go home, and they Jesus went back to Jerusalem. Ooh. Ooh. But his parents supposed that he was in their company. And when they had gone a day's journey, they sought him among their kinsfolk. And when they found him not, they were troubled and returned again to the city seeking him. And after the third day, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, and hearing and asking them questions. And all men paid heed to him, marveled how that, being a young child, he put to silence the elders, the teachers of the people, expounding the heads of the law and the parables of the prophets. And his mother Mary came near and said unto him, Child, wherefore hast thou so done unto us? Behold, we have sought thee sorrowing. And Jesus said unto them, Why seek ye me? Why seek ye me? Know ye not that I must be in my Father's house? Know ye not that I must be in my Father's house? But the scribes and Pharisees said, Art thou the mother of his child, of this child? And she said, I am. And he said unto her, Blessed art thou among women, because God hath blessed the fruit of thy womb. For such glory and such excellence and wisdom we have neither seen nor heard at any time. And Jesus arose and followed his mother, and was subject unto his parents. But his mother kept in mind all that came to pass, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and grace. Unto him be glory forever and ever. This is really... This all came from fucking birds. Like little birds. Like, when did it go? And supposed took their flight and went. That's crazy.